This is the personal diary of Juror 8, July 15, 1957. Today has been a day unlike any other, a day that has tested my principles, my patience, and my belief in the justice system. As I sit down to collect my thoughts, I am compelled to recount the events that led me to this point and the profound experience of serving on a jury in a capital murder case. It began several weeks ago when I received a summons for jury duty. As an architect, my days are typically filled with blueprints and design meetings, not courtrooms and legal deliberations. Nonetheless, I understood the civic duty that beckoned and reported to the courthouse as instructed. The case involved a young man, barely 18, accused of murdering his father. The gravity of the situation was palpable. A guilty verdict would result in a mandatory death sentence. The trial itself was a whirlwind of testimonies and evidence. Witnesses recounted their versions of events. A woman claimed to have seen the murder through the windows of a passing elevated train, and an elderly man testified that he heard the boy shout, "I'm gonna kill you," followed by the sound of a body hitting the floor. The prosecution presented a switchblade knife, allegedly unique, as the murder weapon. The defense's arguments seemed lackluster, and as the trial concluded, it appeared that the jury's decision would be swift. We, the 12 jurors, were ushered into a small, sweltering room to deliberate. An initial vote was taken. 11 of my peers voted guilty. I was the sole dissenter, casting a not guilty vote. This was not because I was convinced of the boy's innocence, but because I harbored reasonable doubt. I believed that we owed it to the defendant and to ourselves to discuss the evidence in detail before condemning a young man to death. The atmosphere in the room was tense. Some jurors were impatient, eager to conclude and return to their lives. Others were adamant about the boy's guilt, influenced perhaps by personal biases and preconceived notions. I knew that persuading them to reconsider would be an arduous task. I began by questioning the uniqueness of the knife, producing an identical one I had purchased in a shop near the defendant's home. This demonstration challenged the prosecution's claim that the murder weapon was one of a kind. I also scrutinized the testimonies of the witnesses. The woman's account seemed dubious upon realizing that she might not have been wearing her glasses while in bed, casting doubt on her ability to see the crime clearly. The old man's testimony was similarly questionable. The noise of the passing train would have made it nearly impossible to hear the boy's alleged threat, and his physical limitations called into question his ability to reach his door in time to see the defendant fleeing. As our discussions progressed, some jurors began to reconsider their positions. Juror 9, an elderly gentleman, was the first to change his vote, acknowledging the need for thorough deliberation. Others followed, each swayed by different aspects of the case that did not hold up under scrutiny. However, not all were easily convinced. Juror 3, in particular, was obstinate, his judgment clouded by personal issues with his estranged son, which he projected onto the defendant. The turning point came when we reenacted the old man's movements, revealing the improbability of his testimony. Additionally, the realization that the woman witness might not have been wearing her glasses during the alleged sighting further eroded the certainty of the evidence against the defendant. One by one, the vote shifted to not guilty until only Juror 3 remained. In a poignant moment, he confronted his own biases and with great emotion changed his vote, leading to a unanimous verdict of not guilty. As we left the courthouse, I felt a profound sense of relief and responsibility. We had not determined the boy's innocence beyond all doubt, but we had upheld the principle that a person is innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It was a testament to the importance of standing firm in one's convictions, even in the face of opposition, and the necessity of thorough deliberation in the pursuit of justice. This experience has left an indelible mark on me. It reinforced my belief in the judicial system's potential for fairness, provided those entrusted with its processes are diligent and conscientious. I am reminded that justice is not a foregone conclusion, but a pursuit that requires vigilance, courage, and above all, humanity.